Rumi once whispered across time, "The breeze at dawn has secrets to tell you. Don't go back to sleep." But what are these secrets? And why must they be heard in silence before the world awakens? Because there are parts of you that can only be heard when the world stops speaking. There is a presence that lives beneath your name, your roles, your habits. A being that waits patiently, endlessly for you to turn within. Not the you that scrolls and performs, but the you that dreams, aches, remembers. The one who was here before your first memory and will remain after your final breath. That self is not found in the crowd. It is born in solitude. In the next few minutes, we will walk with Rumi into the sacred terrain of the soul, into the silence where the truth first begins to breathe. We will speak of the power of being alone, not as an escape, but as a return. We will explore what it means to face the void, to know yourself, and to dissolve the illusion that you were ever disconnected from love. This is the spiritual path Rumi walked. This is the journey inward. We fear being alone, not because we dislike silence, but because in silence the masks fall. In the presence of others, we learn how to shape ourselves. We learn what to say to please, how to move to belong, how to smile to be accepted. But in solitude, there is no audience. There is no script. There is only the echo of your own breathing, the slow rhythm of your thoughts unfolding, the weight of presence pressing inward. And it is there, in that still chamber, that the journey truly begins. Rumi knew this. He did not romanticize loneliness, but he honored solitude as sacred space, a retreat not from life, but into it. He once wrote, "A little while alone in your room will prove more valuable than anything else that could ever be given you." These words are not poetry, they are prophecy, because the soul does not awaken in crowds, it awakens in isolation, when the world finally stops speaking and your essence begins to whisper. In solitude, you begin to notice things you never had the time or courage to see. You notice the quiet ache beneath your smile, the thoughts that circle endlessly like birds in a cage, the parts of you that never found language. There is no one to impress here, no one to lie to, no one to perform for. It is in this aloneness that the true self begins to stir, not the self built on reactions or shaped by memory, but the unchanging presence beneath it all. It is uncomfortable at first, the silence can feel deafening, the stillness unbearable, because we are not used to witnessing ourselves without distraction. We are used to running from pain, from truth, from the vast unknown of our own hearts. But if you stay, if you remain seated in the fire, something starts to soften. The racing thoughts settle, the armor begins to loosen. The stories you've told yourself about who you are, what you lack, what others did to you, they begin to dissolve. What's left is raw, real, and utterly human. And in that rawness, you are no longer fragmented, you are whole. The purpose of solitude is not to isolate you from life, but to reconnect you with it. Because how can you truly meet another if you have never met yourself? How can you love someone honestly if you have not stood in the mirror and faced the parts of yourself you've long disowned? In solitude, you begin to integrate. You begin to forgive. You begin to remember that you are not your wounds, not your past, not your failures. You are the one who sees them all. You are the witness. The eternal awareness that was here before the pain and will be here after the healing. This awareness is subtle. It does not announce itself. It waits for your surrender. And when you finally stop fighting the moment, when you no longer resist your own company, it rises, quiet, expansive, like a gentle sunrise over an ancient sea. There is a reason every mystic has wandered into the desert, into the forest, into the cave, not to escape the world, but to peel away its illusions, not to become holy, but to become real. Solitude is not an absence, it is a fullness. Of insight, of clarity, of communion. It is the place where God speaks, not in thunder, but in stillness. It is the moment when you realize that your deepest wisdom has been inside you all along. buried beneath the noise you once mistook for life. In this sacred quiet, you begin to hear your soul, not as a voice, but as a knowing, a presence that does not need to explain itself. It just is. And for the first time, you feel that being is enough. You do not need to do. You do not need to prove. You are allowed to simply exist, and that existence is holy. But solitude is not always gentle. As you dive deeper, you will meet shadows. You will confront the memories you buried, the emotions you numbed, the desires you denied. And this is where many turn back. They say, I am too broken. I cannot handle this. I don't want to feel this much. But these are the growing pains of returning to yourself. Healing is not always light. Sometimes it is a deep and necessary darkness, a reckoning, a dismantling of everything false so that what is real may rise. And if you can remain through this dismantling, if you can resist the urge to run when your inner world begins to tremble, then you will discover something extraordinary beneath the rubble. A silence that is not empty but infinite, a space that is not hollow but sacred, a presence that is vast, ancient, and alive. This is the threshold of the void. It is not something you find, it is something you fall into. And here, language fails. Here, the intellect surrenders, because this is no longer the realm of the self you thought you were. This is the beginning of the great undoing, the moment you stop seeking answers and instead begin to dissolve into the question itself. Solitude prepares you for this. It clears the noise, it strips away the masks, it brings you to the edge of your own being. And at that edge, there is nothing left to cling to, no belief, no name, no identity, only the vast, unnameable mystery that we call the void. And so as we move forward in this journey, we must ask, can we stand still before that abyss? Can we let go of the need to define, to control, to understand? Can we trust that within the silence, something greater waits?